On a crisp November afternoon in Chicago, Donald Trump, clad in a long blue-black coat and a striking red tie, strolled down Michigan Avenue. He was in town for a high-stakes meeting, but decided to walk back to his hotel to soak in the city's vibrant energy. The sun cast a golden glow on the city's skyscrapers, and the air buzzed with the hum of life. As Trump approached a corner near Millennium Park, something unusual caught his eye. Sitting hunched against the wall of a building was a woman. Her clothes were worn and tattered. Her hands trembled as they held a cardboard sign that read, "Veteran in need. Please help." Trump stopped abruptly, ignoring the tide of pedestrians flowing around him. His gaze met the woman's weary, sorrowful eyes, and in that moment, he was struck. He approached her with measured steps, drawing curious glances from passers-by. "Ma'am," Trump said gently. "What's your name?" The woman looked up, startled. She had not expected anyone to stop, let alone someone like Donald Trump. "It's Teresa," she replied hesitantly, her voice barely audible. "Teresa Hensley." "Teresa," Trump repeated, kneeling beside her. "You're a veteran?" "Yes, sir," she said, her voice cracking. "Served in the army for 12 years. Got injured overseas. Things haven't been easy since." Trump nodded, taking in her words. "Why are you out here? Don't you have a place to stay?" Teresa shook her head, tears glistening in her eyes. "Lost my apartment months ago. Couldn't keep up with the rent. I've been trying to get back on my feet, but it's hard." Her story hit Trump harder than he anticipated. Here was someone who had given years of her life in service to the country, now reduced to begging on the streets. He couldn't simply walk away. He reached into his pocket and pulled out his phone. "Teresa, stay right here," he said firmly. "We're going to fix this." Stepping a few feet away, Trump dialed a number. On the other end, his longtime assistant Margaret answered promptly. "Margaret," Trump said with urgency, "I need you to find the nearest hotel with availability and call a doctor. Someone who can do a quick checkup. Tell them it's urgent." "Right away, Mr. Trump," Margaret responded without hesitation. Returning to Teresa, Trump knelt beside her once more. "Help is on the way," he assured her. "But first, let's get you something warm to eat." He flagged down a food vendor nearby and bought Teresa a steaming bowl of soup and a sandwich. She ate slowly, her hands trembling from the cold as Trump sat beside her, listening intently to her story. Teresa spoke of her time in the army, the friends she had lost, and the injury that had forced her to leave the service. She detailed the struggles of transitioning to civilian life and how she'd ended up on the streets. Minutes later, a sleek black SUV pulled up to the curb. Margaret had acted swiftly. A well-dressed driver stepped out, opening the door with precision. "Teresa," Trump said gently, helping her to her feet, "this is for you. We're taking you somewhere safe." Teresa hesitated, tears streaming down her cheeks. "Why are you doing this, Mr. Trump? You don't even know me." Trump looked her in the eye, his voice steady. "Because someone should have done it a long time ago." The SUV whisked them away to a nearby luxury hotel. The staff, prepped by Margaret, greeted Teresa like a VIP. She was escorted to a suite on the top floor, where a hot shower, fresh clothes, and a warm bed awaited her. A doctor arrived shortly after to examine Teresa, providing medicine and advice on how to regain her health. Trump remained nearby, ensuring everything was handled seamlessly. Meanwhile, Margaret had contacted Veterans United Support Services, a non-profit specializing in helping homeless veterans reintegrate into society. Within the hour, their representative, a cheerful woman named Lisa, arrived to meet Teresa. "Teresa," Lisa said, sitting beside her, "we're going to help you with housing, job training, and anything else you need. You're not alone anymore." Teresa's eyes brimmed with tears as she looked at Trump, who stood quietly in the corner. "I don't know how to thank you, Mr. Trump." Trump stepped forward with a kind expression. "You don't need to thank me, Teresa. You earned this a long time ago." By the next morning, Teresa had a new lease on life. Veterans United had arranged temporary housing for her, and Trump's foundation had pledged to cover her rent for the first year. He even handed her a check to help with immediate expenses. As Trump prepared to leave, Teresa stopped him. "Mr. Trump," she said, her voice steady now. "You've changed my life in ways I can't describe. Thank you." Trump smiled warmly. "Teresa, you're going to do great things. Just promise me one thing, pay it forward someday." "I will," she said, a newfound determination in her voice. As Trump walked out of the hotel and back into the bustling city, he felt a quiet sense of satisfaction. In just a few hours, one life had been transformed. For Teresa Hensley, the future now held hope and endless possibilities. Thank you for listening to this story. If you found it inspiring, don't hesitate to like the video and share it with your friends. Subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell for more captivating stories. Have a wonderful day.